What up, Deadheads? How you guys doing tonight? Welcome to New Jersey HorrorCon and the amazing Ash vs. Evil Dead panel. We have some incredible guests for you guys, so let's not waste any time. Let's get them out here, guys. The amazing Dana DeLorenzo and Ted Raimi.
Aldo, baby. Thank you, Aldo. Boys, be excited. You don't have to wear these shoes. Ted, what are your shoes? You have a little bit of a heel. Look at those fantastic
Did you just call me
socks.
a heel?
I did. You're a heel. Look at those socks. How, by the way, Ted Raimi, everybody. How, can I just tell you that this man is like of a dying breed in the sense that like he dresses like this all the time. We were neighbors in LA. Sorry, I'm just taking over. This is a fun fact since we have a very small panel. We were neighbors. We used to be. We just both moved. We could walk to each other's house, which in LA is a big deal. And he'd be like, you know, doing yard work or tending to one of his beautiful fruit trees and be like, not necessarily stupid, always just dresses up. So I just want to say I love how you always are very dapper, Ted Raimi.
Isn't that nice? Thank you.
And you're he's a very lovely human being in real life too.
Thank you. Isn't that nice?
Except for today.
Well, first I want to thank both of you for coming. It's very nice to see you all here. Now, how many of you are locals? Raise your hand. And by locals, I mean within a 50-mile radius.
Yes. Jersey. Well, what is Philly? But Philly is kind of local.
Philly counts.
That's, all right, yeah.
72 miles.
You're all in.
Who came from like long ass haul away? Raise your hand.
Where with the ashy slashy? Where'd you guys come from?
Where you from? Richmond. That's awesome. That's a long drive. What'd you do to entertain yourselves on the way here? You played video games while you were driving here? That's so irresponsible. I can't
Leave her
effing
alone.
believe
She's
it.
Kelly cosplay. You're my favorite person. You come to my. You're coming to my table. She's got a purple leather fucking.
Oh, that's pretty good. Here, stand up so everybody can see you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't wanna,
Look at that.
All the way from Virginia. You get up on this stage.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm giving you. Get up. Look at. Get up
There's
here.
steps on the side if you want.
You guys. First of all, where the hell they hand make my purple leather jackets from scratch?
Look at that. That's
are
pretty
my
good.
favorite. You win of all Kelly cosplays of all time. What is your name? Gretchen.
Gretchen.
Or yes, it's Ted.
Go ahead. No, go. Gretchen, so how long did it take you to come up with this costume?
Well, my dad found it on eBay on an auction site.
Should have sold mine.
Oh my
Should've
God.
sold mine.
We have to get this.
He found it on eBay on an auction site. The whole costume was like this?
Yeah.
And it just happened to be your size?
Yes.
Because we're the same size.
Don't you think that's odd? That they found a whole Kelly costume that was just your size?
Ted, don't.
It was a little awkward.
The truth is, I sold it to your dad. The truth is I sold it. Is what he's getting.
Yes, yeah.
I took it from my collection.
It's very nice. It's very nice.
Anyway, you went
Now, is Kelly your favorite female character on Ash vs. Evil Dead?
Yes.
Are you just mad that it's not you, Ted? That you're not her favorite female character?
I am her favorite female character. Now, what's your favorite episode of Ash vs. Evil Dead?
I honestly like the first one because it's like the beginning and it kind of starts the story out.
You like the beginning, and then it's all downhill from there, right? It just turns into shit from the top, goes right down to the toilet.
But
Is that
wait
what you're
a minute.
saying?
No, that's not all I'm saying.
Well, you better clarify yourself, young lady, because here you
what
are
she
with
means
two of the
is-
stars of the show.
What she means is that she likes the first episode because Chet wasn't in it. That's what she meant, didn't you? That's right. And then it went
Wow,
to shit.
that's cold. That's even colder. Damn, this is a rough room, kids. This is a rough room. Well, anyway, we love your costume. It's awesome. You look
amazing.
exactly like Kelly on that
Only
show.
better.
Now,
You look even better.
do you know any of Kelly's lines on the show?
I don't even.
I can't remember.
Dana, why don't you give her a line to say?
Is this mom though? How old are you? Can you swear? Is that okay? She can say a line. She's like an actor. Okay, ready? This is my favorite line I ever got to say. Okay, but be mad about it.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, action!
Back off or I'll fuck your faces with bullets.
Yeah! Woo! Well done. Well done. Well done. Right there.
See, guys,
Take the
it's not hard
stairs.
to be an actor. Don't you find
I'm sorry, we don't validate. Thank you for. No, it's terrible to be an actor, isn't it? But you were great.
She was so
We will
good.
call you. We will. Well, she
She's
is
a
an
natural,
actor.
indeed.
And she is a natural. You were great.
Thank you.
We will call you.
Awesome. Very cool. So
If we need to hire you, we will call you. It's a cruel world, but you were very good. She is good. Now, how many of you?
Wait, do you have questions?
I do, but
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, please.
No, go ahead.
I guarantee
ask your
you.
question.
None of these people came here to hear me speak.
Yeah, no, we want to know.
please.
Listen, Dana and I want to know what questions you have for us. We had a
No,
conference.
I'd like to listen to you riff. Ted, you're so good at it.
No, please. What's your?
I still want the Bruce and Ted hour, the Ted and Bruce hour. I still want that
Well,
to
he's
be a
not
show.
here, so it'll.
It's
you and I now.
right. No, I'm your hype man. I just could watch you on for hours.
Well,
He's
that's
the most
nice.
entertaining person I know.
That's
You're gonna
nice.
turn
of you
the
to say
deadheads
that.
into Ted heads.
What?
Deadheads into Ted heads.
The deadheads and the Ted heads.
Yes.
And the Tedites, of
The
course.
Ted.
as well.
Why is there not a shirt?
Tedites.
Tedites.
We need a T-shirt.
I don't think anyone would want that shirt.
I want that shirt.
I
Would
want
you
it.
not want a shirt that said the Tedites?
Yeah,
look?
clap if you want a Tedite shirt, folks. All right, see, that's
I'm
pretty.
gonna sell them on eBay.
So you guys are early I'm calling you early Friday night adopters. Typically, there aren't that many people here Friday, but heck, here you all are. It's kind of awesome.
I think it's a pretty good testament
It's kind
to
of
the
awesome.
popularity of the show.
Now, are all of you guys hardcore Evil Dead fans or just general horror fans? Hardcore, raise your hand. Oh, damn, all of you.
I mean, they're here.
That's true. You are here. That's true. You are all here.
Look, you guys are committed to being in the panel on Friday.
So, what question do you have for us, bud?
Okay.
Dane and I are ready for your questions.
All right, now that you guys are ready, I know the audience has plenty of questions. As soon as I see hands going up, I'll start calling them out there. I'll just kick it off with one until I see hands going up, anyways. So, how excited were you guys to find out that you were going to get to be a part of this show? And if you could walk us through that moment of finding out you're going to be on.
Good question. Go ahead, Dana. Tell them.
Look, I had a long, hard road getting to this point as the actor working, 17 different jobs. And, you go on 16 callbacks, which is what follows an audition for like a 30-second commercial. And this thing happened so fast. It was one audition, one callback, and next thing I was in the room with Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. And it just was so, I never believed it was going to be actually true. Like they kept saying, like, you're going to go shoot in New Zealand and you're going to play this character. You're going to, I'm like, yeah. And I didn't believe it until I actually got on set. When I got the call, though, I immediately collapsed on the floor and laughed, like it was that ugly cry face, but laughing. And then I was like, I don't know why they hired me. I can't even scream. Because as my mom said, I screamed like a 75-year-old man. So it's true. When I scream, this is like legitimately, this is my scream. Ah! So I couldn't believe that they hired me.
You're good
and
at
also, but no, I'm not. I'm really not. I really can't scream. Ariel Carver, I can never say her name. R's are hard for me. Ariel Carver O'Neill, who played Ash's daughter Brandy, obviously great scream. Samara Weaving, who's now like the biggest celebrity ever. She was like the blonde girl, Heather the Hiker in the Cabin. She's in everything, by the way. She can scream. Me, I bet you can scream higher than me.
I don't know. But I know, Ariel Carver's an Australian. You know that, right? You guys know that?
Do they scream? Oh, so is
But she's
Samara.
doing a great
They
American
both-
accent.
How good is she? She's amazing.
But sorry, go on with your story.
That's the end of my story. That I'm overwhelmed and I'm so grateful. And I honestly, the best part, like, getting to work with this man right here and getting to, call him my friend and of course Bruce and Lucy and everyone involved. It for me, look, I'm just a girl. Jersey is my heart. I went to Cape May every year as a kid. But I'm from Ohio, so the fact that this actually panned out, yes, it's the greatest time of my life. I love all of you guys. Thank you for supporting the show and for being such, like, I'm just riding everyone's coattails. You guys are all the Evil Dead fans that I'm just like, here I go. So I'm having the time of my life. So thank you for all coming here and for sitting through this and listening to us ramble.
I didn't know that.
Hey, how excited were you to put on the Henrietta Deadite costume again?
It was rough, but I was glad I did it. But when I got that call, it was I had a slightly different story than her. I was living in an apartment with things weren't going so well. I was living in an apartment by myself with this guy. And he had just he had been in and out of the joint, for
like jail.
Well, yeah, and so he just like these minor offenses, but the last time he was in for theft, and So he was gonna pull this. He was gonna pull this job, and he said, "Would you help me?" I said, "No, I'm a fucking actor. I don't do that shit." And he said, "Look, we just need a driver. It's gonna be quick. I'm just gonna go in this convenience store, just if you drive." So I said, "Okay," because I was broke and I wanted to help him. He's an old friend of mine. And I didn't like the fact he was in the joint. And this is true.
Are you sure it's not the script of Baby Driver?
Nope. Nope, this is true. And so it was a quick job, and I have my Chevy Equinox, and I got in this fucking thing. It was a stupid idea. None of this is true. I'm just lying. I don't know why I'm telling you this story because
Although you do have a Chevy.
Tired of it. I do have a Chevy Equinox. That part is true. I was glad to do it. I was glad to do the part, and it was nice to be in New Zealand again. It was weird because it's a lovely city. It doesn't change much.
And you shot a lot of things.
It's like Edison, New Jersey. It just doesn't really change ever. Edison, New Jersey looks exactly like it did in 1951 when it was built. There's absolutely no difference. What? What?
No, you're right.
Yeah, it's the same city. It's a fine place. It just looks exactly. It's like the people still wear 1950s clothing. There's still some old Edsels lying around. It's bizarre.
I want to go there.
It's bizarre. No, well, it's
Sounds like
maybe not a place to vacation. It's a fine city, but
Exactly what you have on right now.
it pretty much, yeah.
Only.
Anyway, so it was nice to go back. The Kiwis are a great bunch. It was great. I loved the whole thing. And yeah, it was rough getting back into the Henrietta costume.
Because Ted almost died the first time in Just Tell Him. You almost died. I know you like to die. You did. No, you did. He's going to be humble. That full deadite suit when you were what, 20 when you shot?
I was 20. Yeah.
He literally, because they didn't, Sam and Bruce, they didn't really, it was, especially his brother, they didn't really take much care in the terms of like, hey, maybe we shouldn't put a real chainsaw next to someone's face. They were just like, look, we got to shoot this movie, and he almost fucking died because it got to 108 degrees, and then like, didn't they have to bring you oxygen or something?
I didn't almost die.
No, you did though.
I nearly passed out several times.
But you were almost dying from like whatever overheating.
Well,
and you worked for 20 hours straight. He really you earned so anyway.
Yeah,
he's paid his dues in such a real way. Is all I'm trying to say.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's
so
when you're 20, like you'll do anything. Like when we're 20 years old, someone goes, "Hey, that'd be cool. Let's just climb up there and jump off onto our necks." You're like, "That's a great idea. I think I'll just do that." And I was no different. The same thing that makes a good 20-year-old actor makes a good 20-year-old soldier. You'll just do whatever you're told, and you think it's a good idea. That's why they want. And once you get to be 25, you go, "What the fuck did I just do?" And that happens. So there was that. And now I'm 30 years older and no wiser.
But you know what?
And I did
just
it again.
Like a fine wine, just as good, if not even better, in that reprise performance. Honestly,
thank you.
Truly,
Truly,
that was
you.
phenomenal. I was
you.
there watching it on the day. It was amazing.
Thank you. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. You've just been here for how many hours now? Like 4 or 5 hours, right? And did you guys buy a bunch of stuff already? Raise your hand if you bought a bunch of stuff. All right. Who's planning on more alcohol? You drunk? What's the matter with you? What's the matter? Are you married?
He's written very good reviews about you, by the way.
Are you a married man? You are a married man. So your wife knows that you came and you had a bunch of drinks and can you still go home?
It's not tonight.
What?
Not tonight.
Not tonight. He's gonna party down. He's gonna go crazy.
What Ted is saying is he wants to know if you want to go pull a job and he'll be your driver, or just go to his hotel room and party with him.
Yeah. Now, are you guys staying for raise your hand if you're going to be here for 3 full days. 2 days. Okay. So most of you guys, how many of you are just coming tonight?
Oh, God.
That's so sad.
So you're sitting
you
here
guys
with us,
right there. You guys, look at you lovebirds. Standing right there. Are you guys married?
Are you brothers?
You're not married. Do you want to be married? You don't want to be married. Why not? What's the matter? What's the matter? You don't like them? You don't like them?
Abort.
What's the matter? Let's stand up, you two. Stand up. Stand up. Look at you guys. Look at you. They're a beautiful couple. Look at this. All right. Now, why?
Oh, Ted,
what's the matter with you?
Don't ask them what's the matter with you.
What's the matter with you?
20 years old.
Listen, look at how happy they are. Where did you meet?
Oh, Christ.
You met right down the road. And now here you are at a horror con just a few blocks from where you met. How long ago did you meet?
So it's not enough.
So just a year. You met down the road. Here you are now. What's the holdup? Why aren't you getting married? You love horror. You're a good-looking couple. What are you waiting for? It's you. Why didn't you ask her yet?
Oh, calm down.
Why didn't you ask her yet? I want to know.
Still waiting. I don't know.
They have time to figure it out.
He has a little. You want to say, do you accept that answer? All right.
Oh, she said I do.
It's official.
I think they're waiting for season 4 of
Yeah.
They're waiting for
Versus Evil
season.
Dead
That's
is
right.
what it is.
Well, then they'll be never married.
All right, there goes that question.
Yeah.
All right, so it's probably about time to turn it over to the audience, guys. I'm sure you got some questions you've been burning to ask. Anybody? No? Still a little cold. It happens on Friday nights. Okay.
Yes, you, sir.
I will ask.
Awesome.
Who are your artistic heroes?
That's a good question. Dana, why don't you go
Mine
for
is
that one?
Ted Raimi.
Boo, that's a cheap answer. But I appreciate
No,
it.
Actually,
But
I
it's
have
a
to
cheap
thank
answer.
Ted for.
Amy Winehouse.
Okay, well, you want to ask your fucking self the question? Yes, I thought you meant like acting. I think I should give you the mic. Yeah, no, Amy Winehouse was my, that was the best time of my life. I played her in a tribute band before she died. And
Did you guys see her as Amy Winehouse?
We don't need to ask that question. It's fine. We don't need. Who cares? It's fine. But that was just more of like I was, I just was a fan, and she couldn't come and play. And I love music. Is I'm one of those people very affected by music, and I think we all are here. And so I just love doing it. It was the best time of my life. But in terms of acting. Actually, thanks to Ted, I got to meet the one and only Carol Burnett. We got to go to her show in LA. And that woman, I will tell you what, at 83, and just like this little petite thing, she brought the house down. And I'm getting chills thinking about it. Remember, I was crying, and then the security had to pull me away because I wouldn't let go of her hand. And Ted was like, Dana, we have to go. And the late Robin Williams, who, that to me, I grew up with that, like the Mrs. Doubtfire and the Genie and all that stuff. And I feel like the physical comedy world was a very big influence. Of course, the great Lucille Ball. And there's so many people nowadays as well, but I would say just my greatest influences were that. And fun fact, if any of you guys are horror people who also love comedy, look up Abbott and Costello Meet. I think they did a series, but Abbott and Costello, so we know this. I think it's Meet Dracula, and then they also met Frankenstein and Invisible Man. My father started us on that very early, which is why it's so full circle. I love them doing this. And it still holds up. It's like Stooges, if you don't know. They did the famous Who's on First Skip. But I encourage any of you, it's got to be on YouTube or somewhere. If you really want to see the grassroots of this genre, Abbott and Costello. Black and white films. I'm telling you what, it is still so fucking funny. And I took a lot of that from on the show. But I also learned a lot from you, to be honest.
Oh, for
I
heaven's
really
sake.
did. From you. You haven't
Stealing. She learned how to steal. And
I did steal.
Drive getaway cars. No, that's not true. No.
Who are your influences? Unless you want to.
No. I have a lot of my influences are any artist that was sort of outside the mainstream. I always dug them. I loved first one I wound up really loving was a character actor. That's all I ever wanted to be, by the way. I never wanted to be a star, and I got what I wanted, which is
a star.
Funny thing. But I don't know if you strange guys, you probably don't know their names, but one guy who I followed a lot was a guy named William Mckinney, famous character actor of the 1970s and 80s, and I loved him so much, and I would imitate him around the house. My parents didn't even know who he was. Like, what are you doing? Stop imitating this weird guy. And he was in famous movies such as The Outlaw Josie Wales. Anyone see that? Did you ever see a movie called Deliverance?
No.
Oh, you guys know Deliverance.
No.
So William Mckinney is the guy that rapes Ned Beatty. That's William Mckinney, but he plays everything. He also plays good guys, and he's also in a famous Stephen King movie called The Green Mile. Did you see The Green Mile? He's the one that runs in the back. He's the one that runs the electrical juice. He goes, roll on, roll on. That's him. And I would love him so much, but he wasn't like that at all. He was a very sweet, quiet, retiring guy. I loved actors like E.G. Marshall so much. Also E.G. Robinson, both E.G.'s oddly, but I loved them both so much. And those kind of guys I loved, I was never into movie stars. I just loved all the weirdos. And that's all I ever wanted to do. But the weird thing is, guys like me who are in movies that are character actors, we always wanted to be stars. Even though we wanted to be character actors too. Just like cult actors. When you become a cult actor, you never grow up wanting to be a cult actor. You try to be a star, and then you just wind up in these weird-ass movies like Evil Dead, and you become a cult actor. It's very strange. It's a great transition, but it's just kind of the law of the land. It's weird. You just have to get lucky or very unlucky, depending on your point of view and what you wanted in this world. But that's all I ever wanted to do. So that. Huh? Yeah.
And you're doing it.
I'm doing it. Who else has a question? Sir, you.
So I have a 7-year-old daughter, and I just love Dana that every time I saw you out there, you're like hugging little girls. You obviously have such a big impact on young girls. And what does that feel like to you that like 4 years ago you got this phone call, you did your audition, you got on the show, and now you're like an inspiration to little girls all over?
That's a good question.
That is a good question, but I just my answer is going to be honest, because like I'm hearing that from you, and I'm like, who are they talking about? Like me? No, me. I'm just some girl from Youngstown, Ohio. I worked at a bar my whole life. I was the girl studying in the library when I went to college. Did not get a degree in theater, wasn't allowed. Thanks, Mom and Dad. No, but it was truly though. I was like, I've never been a cool kid, never been any of that. So when you're saying that to me, it doesn't feel like it just doesn't feel like you're talking about me. So if I'm doing that, that is bread and butter, because I'm just being how I am. Here's the best way to answer your question. Actually, here's the best way. Someone asked when the show came up, and there were the billboards, like, because there was a big, especially season 1, it was a big push. And there were, the trailer was aired online, on like regular television. And my parents' friends, a few of them would say, "Oh, Tina's a star now. She's on billboards. Oh, how does that feel? Like, what does it feel like for you that your daughter's a star?" And my mom was like, "She's not a star. She's just my Dana." And that's really what it is like whatever, all of that shit. Like I'm in the elk of like, look, I just always wanted to be an entertainer. I wanted to be Carol. I want to make people laugh. If I make you cry, I want to make you feel. I want to share the human experience. And I know that sounds crazy because this is a show about a guy with a chainsaw arm. But dude, we got like real. We got all the things. We got horror. We got drama. We got action. We got some. I mean, fucking Ash cried this season. And I feel like that is such a beautiful thing about this show, is that I get to do all those things. Anything else that I am that is like hearing that, I'm not aware of it, but I'm happy to be, and I don't know if it's a good choice for me to be that inspiration. But hey, if Kelly Maxwell inspires people the way that my mentors inspired me, then I'm one even luckier girl.
I personally always thought it would be an unwise thing to do to hug little girls, so the answer is no.
It's a very wise decision.
Actually, if I could riff on that real quick. You talk about, getting the opportunities as actors doing these things. A franchise like Evil Dead must be like a total like playground for actors, because everybody gets to do so many different things. You get to play like an evil version of yourself, a deadite version, a possessed version by someone else. So I was wondering, if you guys had like a favorite twist that you got to do with your characters on the show.
What do you mean by favorite twist?
I know what he means. My answer is, here, I'll answer and you think, like twist meaning like you started as Henrietta, then you coming back as Chet, which was a totally different character. That's a twist.
Then I went back to Henrietta.
And then you played, and then you went back to Henrietta. Yes. So I think
she answered mine, I think. You go ahead. What is it now?
So my answer is, this was a dream come true. Like I was saying, I got to flex every muscle as an actor. I got to do stunts. I was hanging upside down. The whole scene got cut, but I was hanging upside down, broke a few ribs when I was hanging upside down by my ankle, and the big fight tree scene with Lucy. So I got to do all those awesome things. But Linda Blair, who's going to be sitting next to me, that was the very first horror film I saw, was The Exorcist, at around her age when she made it at 12. And my God, I have always... Of course, I'm Italian Catholic. Of course, that was the first horror film my parents showed me. And I have just always been in awe of her. The God, that should have been. See, it's like it's hard for me to think on the spot with those things, but that's a fact. I've met her before, and I was like, and on my show, possessed you. That's how I was with her. Round 2 is going to be hopefully better. But so I loved that I got to do that. And Sam asked me in the screen test, and you actually, if the screen test ever gets out there, I literally, like, he's like, Dana, you're going to be in prosthetics because we're thinking of having Kelly's character possessed. And I literally am like, yes! Like, I didn't even have the part. I was just so excited. So that and what was the other thing? Playing Insane, that crazy Asylum episode where it was like an alternate universe. Getting to do the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is another favorite movie of mine. That was like my homage to Jack Nicholson. That was a fun twist. Those two, man.
Awesome. Ted?
No, she answered it. That's enough.
Okay. So we probably have time for one more before these guys got to get back to photo ops.
So this is for you, Dana. Have you seen the original The Evil Dead? If so, what did you think of it?
Have I seen the original Dead, and what did I think of it? I saw Army of Darkness first in high school. I saw the second one sometime in college. Hadn't seen the first one by the time this audition came around. I was a horror girl, a horror nerd very early, from like 9 years old, reading Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark, all that stuff. I've told you all these horror films I watched. I am an adult now, many, many years older, and I watched the first one the night before the audition, and I'm like, I've seen them, I know what it is. Well, no one told me that the first one was not anything like those other two. Like, Evil Dead 2 was scary, but it is a lot of over-the-top comedy. I am very embarrassed to admit, but you know I've told this before, I couldn't finish watching it. Like, I couldn't.
It's too scary?
Here's what I think is the scariest thing in any horror genre of all time that this franchise does. When evil, or a monster, whatever it is maniacal and laughs and enjoys it, what's her name? Oh God, I'm drawing a blank. Thank you. No, giggling. Sitting, I can't even, she did it in Germany, and I literally was like, I was making a fool of myself, because I hid, there goes my ring. There goes my ring. I hid when she did it. It is the most terrifying thing. So
now wait, I have a question for you.
I couldn't even finish watching it is the thing.
Most thrillers and horror movies do have that moment in it.
But I don't know, then maybe they don't do it well, but I feel like that does it well. I feel like The Shining does it well, where Freddy Krueger didn't really laugh too much in a way that was like giggly. I can't explain it, but it's just the maniacal where they really enjoy it. So my answer is, I saw the first one, what I think of it, I couldn't finish it. Had to, the morning of the screen test, have my neighbor come over and sit with me while I was like putting on my makeup, half watching it, because I was so terrified. So there's zero acting on my part on the show when I have to be afraid.
So good, like a
That's the end of
good
the
standard
question.
horror movies, it's hard for you to get through because it's scary.
No. This particular Evil Dead one, for whatever reason.
That one's tough.
That one, for whatever reason, surprised me, because I'm like, it's from like the early 80s. It's gonna be, it's not gonna hold up. Holy shit. So yeah, you're way cooler than me, than I will ever be if you're 13 and you've seen a girl. You're doing well. Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks for buying her that outfit, Dad.
Now, Dad.
Thanks for giving me that $80, Dad.
You let your daughter watch Ash vs. Evil Dead. That's
13.
okay.
She's allowed.
That's okay. That's okay for you. Okay.
It's the 5-year-olds we gotta be worried about.
Do you let her like watch other gory things or just that? Pretty much anything she wants. So porn's included. That's all right. What? I'm asking a question. She's like, no, not that.
We can't end on that.
Just went there. I found my first edit.
We can't.
He said anything. Now, what about the evening news? Is that all right?
That's what the real horror
He won't
show.
do that. Now you're talking. That's good. Does anybody have any other questions? No questions. We love being here. Thank you for having us. It's a rather short Q&A, but we're very glad to be here. And if you guys are going to be around this weekend, come say hi. And otherwise, we'll see you crazy kooks tomorrow or the day after that.
All right, guys.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you,
us.
guys. Da-na-na, da-na-na.
This is John Glover, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Lionel Luther recommends it. Have some fun. Follow your fandom.